How's it going, guys? This is Franco with the Records Department here at the Harlem Public Library, back again with another how-to video for y'all. So, today we will be doing a painting with you guys. I'm going to be going over step by step how to do this painting, and to begin with, we're going to go ahead and show y'all the materials that y'all are going to need. So let's go ahead and get started, okay guys? Okay guys, so here's a quick overview of the materials that you're gonna need, okay? Of course you'll need the reference photo. I'm gonna try to put that in the description. Hopefully we can get you guys a copy of this. I did get it off of Pinterest, so it's a relatively easy image to find, okay? I'm using an 11 by 14 canvas for this one. It's a good beginner's canvas. It's not too big, not too small. It's not too daunting for y'all. I have a variety of brushes here. I might need more than 4. I have a pack over here to the side. They do sell beginner's packs online, and those will come with all shapes and sizes of brushes. But for this one, it's a fairly simple, painting, so you're not gonna need too many. This is obviously for our sun later on. That sun right there. Kind of hard to do a perfect circle, we all know this. Okay, also, let's see, light turquoise, antique white, red, your basic royal blue. I have orange and pink. These are what I had here at the studio, but you don't have to get these exact ones. These are just the ones that I figured, hey, I can try and make these colors in the photo. Just gonna have to do a little bit of mixing here on the side, okay? And then of course, your paper towels, that's going to be for helping clean your brushes, and the water, which is also to help clean the brushes as well. Okay guys, let's go ahead and start this painting off. Okay, so once we have this area done, you're going to want to go ahead and take your water, right? And you're going to dip your brush into the water. You're going to see that it makes it a little bit murky. That means that it's taking the color out of that brush. When you take it out, it might be a little clean, but that's when our napkins come into play, because as you can see, there is some paint still down there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on there, squeeze, wiggle it around, and you can see our paint has more or less gone away. Give it another dunk and repeat the same process. Now don't be like me, guys. Sometimes I forget to change my water. This type of painting is a very kind of clean, fine-lined painting, so make sure you keep that water changed frequently, okay? Just so that you don't pass that colored water or those extra colors into anything else, okay? Alrighty, so once your brush is cleaned, you want to go ahead and dip it into this off-white color that we have, or that bone white, not sure what it was called. And then we're going to work on this side over here of the painting, okay? So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay guys, just one thing I want to mention. I know this is going to seem like it's a pretty fast going painting, and it is for the most part, but with acrylics, they tend to blend relatively easily, especially if they're still wet, as with all paint for the most part. But because we have these really, solid, hard lines here in this painting, we're going to want to give our paint enough time to dry before we move on to the next color. Okay, right now we're already done with the gold, we're already done with this off-white sort of color, so we're gonna move on to this sort of let's call it burnt orange, maybe reddish color here. It looks red on the camera, but there's a bit of orange in there, and so we'll move on to that right now. Just gonna wait for this white to dry just a tad bit more, okay? Remember guys, let that paint dry a bit, give it a couple minutes. It should be, I'm not gonna say to touch it, don't touch it, but it shouldn't be glossy anymore. If you can look here, you can see it kind of sheen, a little bit of sheen there. Make sure that there's no glossiness there. That's when you'll know that it's nice and dry for you. Kind of start on to the next step, okay? Okay, so we're starting on that sort of burnt orange section here. Bit of a ramp look, curved like the rest of these other ones. So let's go ahead and try to do that. Get that burnt orange, so I'm mixing red and orange together. Maybe a little bit more orange there. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty nice. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hit it right now. I don't like this buildup here at the bottom of the brush. That sometimes messes me up a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe it off here, like that. And make sure that I just get the tip of my brush nice and covered with that paint, okay? That way I can make a nice clean line, hopefully. You can never know with paint. Sometimes it wants to be your friend, sometimes it's a bit of a pain in the butt. So let's go ahead and try to do this thing. All right, so it goes like this and kind of goes down over here. So let's start here. Oh, and already I messed up. All right, so let's go and like that. And I can paint over it. I didn't go too bad on it, but not everybody's perfect, eh? So let's kind of even it out there. And there's a blue here that's gonna go here. I'm gonna try to save this. I didn't do the best arch, but painting is not always perfect. It's all trial and error, y'all. So, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and add more over here. That way I have a bit of an arc, and then I'll try to fix it like that. Let's see. Maybe that'll work. It's gonna look slightly different, but hey, we work with what we're given, right? Make lemon out of lemonade, like they say. And don't be worried about getting it perfect right here. We can always add more paint a little bit later, okay? Let's go ahead and keep working on that. Okay guys, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to this greenish area right here, as you can see on the paper. I switched brushes just a little bit. That other one's giving me a bit of a headache. This one might be a little bit better. Who's to say? We'll find out. Okay, so I'm gonna mix that blue and that green just a tad. It's a bit of a dark green, darker than I have. So that's the only reason I'm adding this bluish color to it. But we don't want to lose that greenish color, so make sure you try it out before. Okay, that should be fine for now. Okay, so let's try and do this color. So this one will be a little tricky because it's really flat right here at the bottom. You can always try and use something to help you out. I just so happen to have this with me, so just go ahead and do that. Since this last time I kind of dropped the ball a little bit. It's about here. We're gonna make up for. So if we did, and there. And I'm just making it a little bit smaller than it is in the actual video. Just to, you know, make sure everything looks good on the same canvas. And let's put it up. This brush is doing a lot better than the other one was. I don't know what I was thinking before. Alright, so fill that in. See, this color would be perfect for down here. We're not working on that yet. But I do want to set my areas. So that way I know where I'm going, and I know this is a little bit wet, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Okay. I'm just not gonna set it all the way down onto that green area. Right there. That way I just know where my blue is gonna go. I can use the extra stuff down here. Just kind of go like that. And again, we're just getting rid of that white on the canvas just so that it looks more complete for us. And we can go back later and fill that in. Okay, guys? And now let's focus back on this green area here. So this paint for some reason is fighting me just a tad. So I might have to do multiple coats, not just one coat, but multiple coats of this green, because it seems to keep pulling off of the canvas as I add paint to it. Not quite sure why it does that. Some paints are just a little, what's it called? A little difficult to work with like that. So let's do that. My mountain seems to not round off as much at the top, so let's take some of that off. Okay. And we'll fill in that. We're probably gonna have to add another coat to that green, okay? All right, guys, so we got that second coat in there to go ahead and make that a bit of a more darker green. And now we're gonna go ahead and I've already kind of mixed up the colors that I need for this water over here. And it's basically gonna be this teal, this blue, and just a combination of those here in the center, all right? We're gonna fill that in. Once we've filled that in, then of course we'll move on to the next area. I also switched to a much smaller brush just because I wanted to get some of those finer details down and out of the way right now instead of having to go back to them later. All right, here we go. I'm gonna fill it in. Also, like I said, because this is a bit of a darker color, I might be able to fix a little bit of this arc. We'll see if it changes any shape. But either way, it doesn't have to be perfect, like I said, y'all. I was actually thinking of maybe changing up the mountains on this side a little bit, but we'll get to that part soon. All right, let's just go ahead and finish filling this up. And then we'll get to the next area, okay? Okay, so now that that blue part is already filled in, we're gonna go ahead and start on this pink area here, this little mountain right here. It's gonna go somewhere in here. Make sure to keep those brushes clean, guys. I can't really stress that enough. It is a pretty key element, at least to this painting. In other paintings, you might want a dirtier brush, but with this one, with such crisp colors that we have, it's better to have a cleaner brush, okay? So let's go ahead and add that pink mountain. So I'm gonna just freehand it a bit. It starts up here and it ends over here. So let's just go Okay, probably the best stroke, the best one that I've done so far. I'm happy with that. Hopefully you guys got that stroke down as nicely as I did. I'm gonna fill this in now, and then we'll work on that next and final mountain that we have in the background, which is just another sort of greenish color, but it's more of a teal, at least from my end here. I remember a lot of these portions of the painting, because they're such a solid color, they are gonna need more than one coat, just like that green one. We'll go ahead and keep filling that in, and then move on. And to make this kind of color, I'm basically mixing my reds and my pinks. I'm probably gonna go ahead and throw some white in just to kind of make it a little bit lighter, but we'll get to that soon. All right, let's see here. Okay, so now that we have that mountain out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and work on this last little mountain over here, off to the side, and that's gonna go over here. So let's go ahead and just add that, and then we'll fill it in relatively quickly. Should be able to at least. It goes a little higher than the pink one, so. All right, almost all the way down. This one again, a couple coats, guys, and like I said, a lot of these mountains are gonna need a couple coats, depending on the paint you have. You might have thicker paint than I do. Get this down as close as we possibly can. Alright, almost. Okay, y'all, so we are almost done. Final touch here is gonna be the sun. And that's where our trusty cup comes into hand. So, in order to make this, I mixed orange, let's see, gotta go back to preschool, my bad. Orange, red, yellow, and a little bit of brown. It gave me this kind of funky color. And it should work out. So, I'm gonna take my cup, and I just paint the rim of said cup with that color that I made. Try to get an even coat, as even as you can, I guess, around it. All right, there we go. Teach a bit more. Make sure there's no buildup either, because then that's gonna smudge out, it's gonna look kind of funky. So, once we got it nice like that, I'm gonna position it here, and boom, there we go. A circle. And now all I have to do is fill in that circle. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay. This is probably going to be one of the easier parts of this painting. And if you've already gone through this painting, you probably looked at it initially and said, wow, that looks super, super easy. And then come show, it's a little bit tougher than it looks. Again, because the type of paint that I have, I'm gonna need another, maybe about a coat or so to go on this sun to be finally done. Okay. right. Almost. Get that angle a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and finish filling this in, get that extra coat on, and then I'll show y'all how that looks. Okay? So, pretty much almost done here. Yeah, it came out pretty nice, I would say so. Alright, so let me get that extra coat, like I said, then I'll show you all the finished products. Make sure to add those extra coats, guys, clean those brushes, and we'll see how the final product looks right now. Hey guys, here we are at the end of the video. Hopefully you guys make sure to add all those extra layers and make sure to clean those brushes in between colors. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my finished product. So here's my finished painting. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm looking forward to doing another painting with you guys here on YouTube. With that being said, don't forget to subscribe to the Harlingen Public Library's YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to message us on Facebook Messenger. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Or if you want to get a hold of the reference department directly, you can always give us a call at 216-5821. All right, guys, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.